Hello, everyone, and welcome back to True Crime Guru. I'm Brock Scales. Just a reminder to please follow the channel on social media and engage because I don't just want to talk about these cases, I really want to know what you guys think as well. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Subscribing will ensure that you stay up to date, and it also helps support the channel and what we are trying to accomplish. This week, many of us will be joining our family and friends for Thanksgiving. It is a holiday that is supposed to be for families to get together and enjoy quality time. But for the family of Angela Barrentine, Thanksgiving is just a grave reminder of a tragedy that struck 19 years ago. Angela was supposed to join her family for Thanksgiving at her grandparents' house in 2004, but she would never show. Angela would be missing for nearly a year before her body was discovered under very suspicious circumstances. Unfortunately, there wasn't a whole lot of information out there about Angela's story, so this episode was a little harder to put together than most. But regardless, I still felt it was important to tell her story, as Angela's case has never been solved. Angela was born on February 5th, 1977. She, her siblings, and her parents, Joey and Deborah Scholes, all resided in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Vicksburg is a small town in western Mississippi that is right on the Mississippi River, close to the Louisiana border. It is a town full of Southern charm with a population of just over 20,000 residents as of 2021. Angela would live here her entire life, and after high school, she attended Hines Community College. At 18 years old, Angela gave birth to her daughter, Ginger, whom she adored. Angela enjoyed watching NASCAR, horseback riding, and taking her daughter fishing. But Angela did have her demons, as we all do. From the time that she was a teenager, she struggled with substance use disorder. However, this did not hinder her from trying to make a good life for her and Ginger. Angela dutifully worked 2 jobs, one at a local supermarket and another at a Roni's restaurant. And everyone has said that despite her struggles, she was the best mom to Ginger. She also found love. Just 3 weeks before Thanksgiving 2004, at 27 years old, Angela married a man named Daniel Barrentine. Daniel would watch Ginger while Angela was working, which helped her out greatly. Angela's grandparents, Buster and Sissy Scholes, stopped by her house around dinner time on November 24th, 2004, the night before Thanksgiving. They were just making sure that Angela was still planning on coming over the next day for the holiday, in which she assured them she was. They left around 6:30, and at that time, Angela left for just a quick run to the store for cigarettes. However, this quick run would turn into hours, and Angela never returned. Thanksgiving Day came, and Angela's seat at the table remained empty. Her grandparents and her sister, Stacy Hartley, became increasingly concerned, mainly because Angela had left behind her epilepsy medication. And without it, she could suffer from 2 or 3 seizures a day, according to her mother, Deborah. So they decided to make a missing persons report with the Vicksburg Police Department. It's kind of hard to tell from the source material what investigation really took place, because all the agencies involved in Angela's case have remained pretty tight-lipped throughout all these years. We do know that some witnesses came forward and confirmed that they saw Angela alive on the 25th around noon. She had apparently helped some friends move some stuff with her truck and was last seen with 2 men in Edwards, Mississippi, which is about 18 miles east of Vicksburg. I do not have any information about who these men are and if or how they knew Angela. However, investigators and Angela's family speculate that she may have gone to Edwards to purchase drugs. The biggest mystery in this case is this major lapse of time between Angela leaving to go get cigarettes on the evening of the 24th and being seen by these friends around noon on the 25th, which leads me to believe that somebody has to have known where she was. She left that evening with a purpose, and that purpose may have been to go get cigarettes, like she said, or it may have been to purchase drugs in Edwards. But either way, somebody had to have seen her, and she had to have slept somewhere unless she slept in her truck. Months went by without any word from or sight of Angela. Every day that passed became more and more weary for Angela's family. Buster told the Vicksburg Post in January of 2005 that it broke his heart every time little Ginger would ask if her mama was dead. Angela's main advocate was her sister, Stacy. She stayed on law enforcement to investigate. She told Josh Edwards with the Vicksburg Post, "I prayed and prayed. Just please let me find her." Stacy was really pushing investigators to search the Big Black River, and when the water level in the river fell to just 7.5 feet in August of 2005, Stacy knew that this would be a really good chance of finding Angela if she was in the river. However, investigators were a little apprehensive about taking their patrol boat out in such low-level water. So Stacy insisted that they take a civilian boat instead, and they agreed. And it didn't take long before they discovered a truck poking up from the water near the Kansas City Southern Railroad Bridge. They would need to have a closer examination before they could tell if it was Angela's truck or not, but Stacy instantly became fearful. She described this day to the Picayune Item in 2006. "That was the loneliest day of my life. When we saw the truck tires sticking up, I had no idea it was her vehicle. But then I got the biggest knot in my throat, and I couldn't swallow." Stacy's fears were confirmed when the truck was verified to be Angela's green and purple 1997 Ford F-150, and Angela's skeletal remains were found inside. Her remains were sent to Pearl, Mississippi to be examined, and after Angela's autopsy was conducted, it was revealed that her manner of death was undetermined, which means that they were unable to determine if her death was an accident or a homicide. Strangely, her cause of death has never been revealed. I don't know if that means it is also undetermined, which is pretty common with skeletal remains, or if it means that they just do not wish to reveal the cause of death for whatever reason. Regardless of this determination, law enforcement did suspect foul play. Now, what became confusing for Angela's family, and frankly to each other, was which investigative agency was handling Angela's case. The Vicksburg PD is who had the missing persons report, but Angela's body was found on the cusp of Warren County and Hind County. What I could tell from the sources, the Warren County Sheriff's Office is who was investigating Angela's case. However, I did also read that the Hind County Sheriff's Office, as well as the Vicksburg Police Department, did also assist. It is unclear how Angela's truck ended up in the river, but investigators inferred that it entered from the Warriors Trail roadway, which was in between where Angela was last seen in Edwards and her home in Vicksburg. The truck was taken to be processed, but we do not know if anything of evidentiary value was found. Now, of course, water does often destroy evidence, and the truck was in the water for 8 months. However, that is not always the case, so I am curious to know if anything of interest was found in the truck. From this point on, the investigation is widely unknown. Both the Warren County and the Hind County officials refused to share any information about Angela's case. The Warren County Sheriff Martin Pace told the Vicksburg Post in 2014 that they have requested assistance from outside agencies such as the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation and the FBI, but they have not been successful in receiving any help. I have to wonder if Angela's association with substance use had any effect on the way investigators handled this case. Unfortunately, it is common for law enforcement to develop biases on this kind of thing and take these cases less seriously, which, of course, is a major problem. Regardless of the choices a person was making, it does not make them any less of a person and any less worthy of justice. Angela's mom, Deborah Scholes, said, "Even if my daughter did do wrong, she's still my daughter, and you don't stop loving your child because she did something bad." Poor Ginger was only 9 years old when Angela disappeared, and she was forced to grow up without a mother. When she became an adult, she started taking a more active approach in helping getting her mother's case solved.
We used to take fishing trips together. We used to remake country music songs together. She would teach me to cook, all the motherly daughter things. And I really kind of got that cut short for me, taken from me, I feel like.
Ginger has said that the investigators with the Warren County Sheriff's Office have not been helpful. They refuse to answer any of her questions or let her see any of the case files. They claim that it's an active investigation, but they don't seem to be actively working on it. They also refuse to declare it a cold case, which would make it easier for Ginger to obtain files and also would allow another agency to look at it with fresh eyes, which sometimes that is all it takes. I see it all the time where a new detective looks at a case through and through, and suddenly they notice something that has been there the whole time and look into it, and it just happens to be that one piece of the puzzle that solves the case. But according to Ginger, the sheriff's office will not accept help from anyone, which does go against what they've said publicly. Desperate to find answers, Ginger did start working with a private investigator, Corey Seale, who, as far as I can tell, is still working the case. When you think about what may have happened to Angela Barrentine, the running theory is that she was murdered by some kind of acquaintance. Since she was struggling with addiction, Angela was associated with some shady characters. And since Angela was found inside her vehicle in a large body of water, the theory is that her truck was rolled into the river from the road. And it is common in situations like this that somebody who may know something might be afraid to speak with the police, either because of their own criminal activity or fear of retaliation. But it has been 19 years, and that is a long time to hold something like this in. If someone did do something to Angela, it is likely that they may have told somebody. So I think it's probable that there are people out there that have valuable information but are just afraid to come forward. And I also can't help but think of these two mysterious men that Angela was last seen with. I wonder how thoroughly they've been investigated, or if they've even been questioned. Did they know Angela? And if they did, how did they know her? Even if they have no involvement in what happened to her, they might at least know if she was going somewhere else or going to meet someone. And I know what you're all thinking. What about the husband? It's been reported that Daniel Barrentine was cleared by police pretty quickly. Apparently, he underwent a voice stress analysis test, which are historically incredibly unreliable, even more unreliable than a polygraph. However, I did find some information that was reported by a couple of media outlets. Take this with a grain of salt, though, because I do not know where they got this information or if it is even verified, since they are the only outlets to mention anything about Daniel. In a 2009 article in WLWB written by Bert Case, it mentions that Angela and Daniel reportedly had a fight about her substance use before she left to go get cigarettes on November 24th. Again, I do not know who gave them this information, if it was Daniel, if it was somebody else, I don't know. Also, the Vicksburg police chief at the time, Richard O'Bannon, told the Vicksburg Post in 2005 that there were several instances where calls were made to police regarding domestic incidents between Daniel and Angela. I want to reiterate that I do not know the full extent of this information, but I did find it interesting and worth mentioning, especially since Daniel was cleared so early. Although they were newlyweds, so I find it hard to imagine what could have taken place so early in the marriage to cause Daniel to want to do Angela harm. Since Angela's cause of death has never been released and her manner of death is undetermined, that does leave an accident open as a possibility. When looking on Google Maps, if Angela was on Warriors Trail, the point where Warriors Trail and the Big Black River are in the closest proximity, as you can see, and I don't know what the terrain is there, but it does look like it would be kind of difficult to be involved in some kind of single car accident and end up in the river. I find this theory to be unlikely, and no one, including police, thinks that this was an accident. Suicide is another possibility, but there were no indications that Angela would want to end her life and leave her daughter behind. Also, driving into a river is a rather rare and unusual way to commit suicide. Angela Barrentine's death is still unsolved with no apparent current investigation. But there are ways that you can help bring attention to Angela's case. There is a petition on change.org that was started in January of this year for Angela. As of the time I am making this video, the petition has reached 753 of the 1,000 signature goal. Signing this petition will cost you nothing and will only take a minute of your time and will make a world of a difference. Advocates have also initiated a email/letter writing campaign to the Warren County Sheriff's Office asking these 6 questions. Who is the active investigator in Angela Barrentine's case? No investigator has been identified in 19 years. Why is the case still open if it hasn't been solved in almost 20 years? And if there have been no leads that anyone knows of in all those years? If the case is not being investigated at this time, why is it not a cold case/closed? Why do they seem to not want anyone to have access to case files so citizen detectives and cold case units can assist with an investigation to solve her case? Also, why won't they allow anyone to help them with the investigation? Why will they not give Ginger back her mother's items? They have in their possession photos, keys, sunglasses, among other possessions belonging to Angela. The autopsy report says there are photos attached, but when Ginger received the autopsy, there were no photos that came with it. Where are the autopsy photos? If you choose to take part of this campaign, I suggest you open your correspondence by simply saying, I am writing to inquire about the active investigation into Angela Barrentine's death. If you're not comfortable reaching out to a law enforcement agency, that is completely understandable. But you can still help by simply sharing this video, Angela's story, and getting the word out. And of course, signing the petition on change.org. All of the information about the writing campaign as well as the petition are in the episode description, as well as all of the channel's social media accounts. Angela Barrentine was only 27 years old when she met her demise, and Ginger has been forced to wonder what happened to her mom all these years. She told Emily Caballero and William Below with WLBT, I feel like a part of me is still a little girl who lost her mom and doesn't understand why. If someone who knows what happened to Angela or was told something or heard something is watching, please come forward with your information and help bring answers for Ginger, Stacy, and the rest of Angela's loved ones. I really feel like this case can be solved if someone can just provide that one piece of information that brings answers to what happened to Angela Barrentine. I also ask that if you celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday, that you keep Angela's family in your thoughts and prayers. If you have any information about the death of Angela Barrentine on November 25th, 2004, please contact the Warren County Sheriff's Department at 888-636-1761. You can also contact private investigator Corey Seale at lecoinvestigations@gmail.com. Thank you everyone for watching, and I wish a happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate. Please share this video and help get Angela's story out there. I also ask that you please follow the channel on social media for important updates, engagement, and information on how you can help the cases I cover. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Subscribing will ensure that you stay up to date on all content, and it does help support the channel and the cases that we cover. If you have a case in mind that you think I should cover, email me at truecrimeguruchannel@gmail.com, or feel free to DM me on social media. Next week, I will be discussing the senseless murder of Ernesto Acosta, who was gunned down while simply walking home in San Francisco. Please join me next Sunday as I try to unravel this unsolved case.